Greg doesn't like to talk, so y'all get to work that out.
That's right, Greg.
Okay, we have Coach Gibbs from Houston. Coach, if you can make an opening statement, if you can, kind of an exciting finish.
Holy cow. I tell you what, these guys, they have, they continue to fight, and it's amazing, because we've obviously both teams had some adversity, coaching changes and all that, and these guys kept plugging. And I tell everybody, I believe this, they've gotten better in our bowl practice, which isn't always the case with certain football teams, especially with teams who have a coaching change, because, they realize that most of the coaches aren't going to be there anymore. But to these guys' credit, they kept grinding and kept us in the football game, and obviously it was a miracle, but we will gladly accept a miracle.
Coach, if you could make a comment about each one of the players and their contribution today.
Obviously, if you watch the game, Farrell from Jump Street, he was running like a beast. To be honest, let me start by saying this. Pittsburgh is a really good football team. And we knew their offense was their best offensive line we've seen all year, best running backs, two best running backs we've seen all year. The wide receiver, we knew he was the best wide receiver, and I wasn't blowing smoke when I said that. I believe that. So I knew we're going to have a hard time getting them off the field, which put a lot of pressure on our offense, because they had to do some things they weren't ready to do, as far as trying to keep up with the pace of the game on a limited number of plays, because obviously it ended up closer than it really was, because we had the ball for those last 4 minutes. But from Jump Street, Farrell ran like a beast. He ran like their guys, and he's a great football player. If I was the head coach at Houston, he would be my starting middle linebacker, by the way. He knows that. Greg's dynamic. He's gotten better and better as a quarterback. Coach Herman's got a lot of tools to work with him. Because the truth is, with Greg, he's never really had a true quarterback coach here at Houston. We've had offensive coordinators with the quarterback coach title, but they really aren't quarterback guys. Whereas once Coach Herman gets in there and works with him, unlimited potential with him. I said this to Deontay, because we ran the ball. That's how we were moving the ball early, and most of the game was running it. Deontay wasn't really doing a whole lot, and for a wide receiver to have to block, 50 times in a row, it'd be easy for you to tap out and go in the tank or not quit, but just get in a bad place. He didn't. He kept fighting, and he ended up making a couple great touchdown catches there at the end, and obviously the 2-point play to take the lead there at the end. And Joey's this guy. He's my anchor. He's a war daddy. I don't even know how many tackles maybe they probably none. But I'm gonna tell y'all, Joey's an NFL nose guard, and they got about 3 offensive linemen that are NFL offensive linemen. So it was a battle. That's about as many words as I've ever said.
I'm just trying to challenge you. Okay, let's open it up for questions.
First, Cedric Bailey with Lockeed News. First of all, you guys made it so tough for us as media to vote for our MVP, because we had voted for you, Farrell, at first. But when your quarterback stepped up and he got fired off of your energy, the whole team stepped up. So can you talk about it, quarterback Mr. Greg, tell us about what he did to you to make this thing happen?
Farrell's the man. He's a beast. And I feed off him. I give him the ball, he make plays. They make it easy for me, so I really just be feeding off him out there.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, Charles Boyle with BG Sports Network. So many things to talk about right now, but first I got to ask about the gutsy call to go for 2. I thought it was very gutsy, especially after recovering the back onside kicks. Your thoughts behind that, and what really swayed you to go ahead and go for 2?
Well, the truth is, our first bowl practice after Coach Levine was released and I was named interim head coach, we made a decision that day at practice that if it came down to the end of the game, we were going for 2 no matter what. And we started. This is a true story. We started practicing at the 2-point play the very first practice. So we probably run that play, 25, 30 times in practice. And the truth is, they played the right coverage to stop the play, and they actually stopped the primary receiver. But Deontay obviously got open, and Greg found him, which is a credit to those guys. But there was no decision. They knew 3 weeks ago, and so to me, I want to do it because I did believe this. in the last 2 years since I've been in Houston, we've been down there so many times inside the 10 and just haven't scored. I mean, we've won 8 games 2 years in a row, but we're a team that could have won 10 games easily both years. We just somehow, things have happened. So I want to give them confidence and take the pressure off of them and let them know, hey, we're going to go for 2, and if we don't get it, it's on me. Because I'd be sitting there having to answer all these questions of what, only an idiot would have gone for it after coming back from 21 points down. That's true. But there was no pressure. There was no decision to be made because we made it a long time ago, and we stuck with our plan.
Okay, question?
David, this offense it's very tempo oriented. You just, there at the end, was that just a matter of finally getting that tempo going? And then for Deontay, how tough is it when you aren't as involved in the game to kind of keep your mind in it, and then when you're needed late in the final 3 minutes that you can come up with the big play?
I deal with Farrell, almost every day, on and off the field. So, I have no problem sitting there, blocking for him. So I just look at it as, if that's what our offense is doing right now, that's what we're going to do.
For Greg and David?
Oh, I'm sorry. Offensively, I think we had pretty good rhythm and tempo from the beginning of the game. I just think that their offense stayed on the field so long, and we just couldn't get it rolling. And we didn't play very good on third down today. I don't know what they were, but wasn't good enough. And so they kept converting, and it kept our guys on the sideline. But we weren't getting those stops in the fourth quarter. Obviously, made them kick a field goal one time, but the onside kicks gave us the possessions that we needed to win the game. They're a big physical football team. They're not. I don't think they're accustomed to playing that kind of spread offense. With our speed and our skill. But you got to have enough plays to affect them. Fatigue-wise, conditioning-wise, and just giving these guys enough chances to touch the ball because we got playmakers.
Okay, question here.
For Greg and Deontay, can you take us through the last touchdown pass and the 2-point conversion? Who was supposed to be the primary receiver, first of all?
The primary receiver was supposed to be Marquise Ambles, but the safety stayed on the head, so he was wide open in that play.
If you can just take us through both those plays.
Oh, and then the 2-point conversion, DeMarcus Ayers, shifted in motion. He was the primary receiver on that. And both of them, defenders jumped on him, left me wide open in the corner of the end zone. So I just went up and grabbed the ball.
How did you end up so open on that on the touchdown?
Just like he said, Marquise was the primary receiver on that play. He ran the fade route. I went right up the hash.
Greg does a good job of looking off the safety. And he did. He looked the safety on the safety, got too wide, and Deontay was wide open.
Okay, go ahead.
Mario Davis, Dallas Entertainment Journal. So, Joe, can you all just talk about how important this was for Jacoby?
It was huge. He came in the season early, and to have something go on like that with him, it makes what we do a real blessing. So to get out there and get the W and have him watching and all that stuff is great. Because he's been there all season with us, and I know he loves it.
Man, it's kind of like a fairy tale ending, man. He's going through some stuff, we went through some stuff throughout the season, man. It's saying, keep fighting. He told us to keep fighting, and we did it, man. We came out with the win.
Question?
Dave Michaels with the North Texas Sports Network. Coach, when you were talking about going for the 2-point conversion, and it was decided 3 weeks ago, all 4 of your players were all moving their heads up and down. All look like bobbleheads up there, I want you to know that. But what I want to know is, by the way, what is your lottery pick numbers for tonight? Great gamble. The onside kicks, talk about that for just a second as far as the execution of that. Talk about your kicker, talk about the special teams on that field at the time, and was field condition anything that was playing part of this? Because we know it's been raining all day, that field gets a little slick. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, the truth is I'm a defensive coordinator by trade. I don't know a whole lot about special teams. I do know this. That the 2 years I've been at Houston, Coach Levine, first of all, Coach Levine is a special teams guru. And Jamie Christian, our special teams coordinator, is a guru too. So we have like 4 or 5 different ones that we use. They don't always work, but every week in practice I'm standing there watching, I'm like, man, how many do we have? So the only topic for the first one was which one were we going to use. And we had a little discussion and we went with the one and it worked. But you're right, I didn't know this field was that slick till I went out there in pregame warm-ups. It was, to me, it's tough. It's raining, it's cold. But, so anyway, the kicker did a great job doing it, and obviously, they'd like to have their, their hands team in a better position to make the plays, or I don't know what happened, but hey, we got them both, so Coach Christian, shout out to him.
Hey, Kenneth, can you just kind of take us through that last onside kick and what you saw? It looked like the ball went underneath his legs, and you just happened to be right there, and you just were right on it.
Just something we worked on in practice. In practice I actually did the wrong thing. I went ahead and we made the adjustment. I was supposed to loop around our L2, and that's what I did. And Luke Stice was the L2, and he went down there and he hit the guy, and the guy came up, and the ball just slipped right underneath him, and I was there to grab it.
I'd just like to know from the players real quick. The game was quite emotional, especially at the end there. I'd just like to hear from you guys. What did it mean for you guys to come back from the deficit you had to overcome and win this game?
We've been through a lot of games where, we was coming from behind and we got close to coming back and winning the game, but we just couldn't finish it, just like Coach Gibbs said. It's just all about never quitting. We just went out there and just gave it all we had, laid it all out on the field for our seniors.
If I had one word to describe it, it would be finally.
Why is that?
Man, we've been through so many, like Deontay said, we've been through so many games, man, I can count 6 on top of my head. And it came down to the last possession. It can be either offense and execute, defense and execute, and we finally did it. And man, I was crying for real.
Yeah, I know personally I was out there 3 plays and resulted in 3 losses on the last play of the game. So, to finally get out there and finish, it was definitely special for the team.
Coach Gibbs, Simone Eli from KPRC in Houston. What does the fight in the fourth quarter from this team show that they have in the future coming with Coach Herman coming? What does this team have?
These kids know how to win football games. We keep talking about these close losses, but like I said, we won 8 games 2 years in a row. And these kids are tough kids. They're resilient. And I think Coach Herman's stepping into a great situation. Obviously, he picked this job. He probably had his choice of jobs. But to me, I want to make sure when he turned the tape on, he saw kids playing hard and kids fighting, and really that's what we do. So I don't know that answered your question, but these kids they're special.
Question?
Greg, Coach Gibbs had mentioned with Coach Herman now coming in and his specialty being with quarterbacks, what does that mean to you in terms of your development and maybe getting a full season hopefully under your belt, and then for Deontay and Kenneth, just an offensive-minded coach coming in, and what do you guys see in terms of the future of this offense with most of you guys coming back?
The future is bright. He had 3 great quarterbacks at Ohio State, and they all did a terrific job. And for these guys to come back with me, that'll be great. We're gonna come back and have a better season.
It's exciting, to watch what they did. Just the game yesterday. Knowing he's gonna come in with that offensive mindset. They've always obviously been able to put up a lot of points. So we're gonna get everybody on the same page, buy in, and hopefully put up a lot of points next year.
Okay, any other questions right here?
Joey is the lone representative of the defense up here. That had to be a frustrating afternoon for the most part because they had those 2 90-yard drives and you just really had a lot of trouble getting them off the field. Just kind of talk about the frustration building and how you were able to kind of overcome that.
The whole year we've done a great job of not panicking. And, when things get tough, sometimes it get real tough and sometimes you prevail with them. But 2 90-yard drives is hard, but there's more game to be played than that.
Coach Gibbs? During the game, it got, during the game, it was a lot of, waves and things like that, the momentum, and, later in the third quarter, got to the point where things started getting, real emotional and chippy on the field. Could you talk about maybe what you told the players, or if the players came together on their own, and what happened at that point to just allow the team to roll through the fourth quarter?
Well, honestly, we've been talking about it all week because I just wanted these guys to know, as emotional as we were going to be for the game, just through all the transition and all the stuff going on, that their football team's the same way. I mean, there was a recipe for disaster today in bowl planning, because to have 2 interim coaches, one of them gets fired and one of them leaves for another job, you forget that you got 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids out there who just lost, due to either problems at school or the reason they went to school, or not saying that's right or wrong. So we talked about it, you know, hey, you got to control your emotions. You can't, you know, they're going to talk, we're going to talk. They're from a different part of the country than we're from. It was just, I thought our kids handled it pretty good. I really did. It did get chippy at times, but I really thought both teams handled it pretty good, considering, you know, all the stuff that has happened in both teams.
Coach, forgive me for asking a direct question, but are you going to be back with Houston next year?
Somebody paid you to ask that. So I'm gonna sit down with Coach Herman here in the next day or two and figure it out and see you know what the best direction is. So I want to know as an interim head coach though.
Are you ready to retire? With your dad, Coach, was he ever a coach and a head?
I don't think he ever was. You know what? He was a head high school coach, Mount Airy, North Carolina, for a couple
So
years.
you could tell him you won more college games than he did.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? If not, David, locker room for any other comments from any other players?
Yeah, that's how locker room.
Okay, so just see David over here. So thank you very much.
Thank you all.